Okay, let's talk about average. If I added all of these up and divided by how many numbers I have, and let's say I got an average of a 2.17, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that mean it's smooth, greeny, wrinkled, yellowy?
Oh, no.
Why does it not make sense?
Because they're,
There are different categories, there's different types of beans.
The numbers,
I knew you would say it!
what she said.
the numbers don't, they're not really numbers. They're-
These are not really numbers, they're names. So we can't do math on them because what kind of data are they?
Qualitative.
Qualitative data. So even though, I knew you were gonna say it, even though I can do math on it, the math doesn't make sense. It's like me taking jersey numbers and adding them up and getting 559.7 and saying, oh, that's Jimmy and Bob Smith Jones. It doesn't make sense. Now, median, if I put them all in order from least to greatest and I pick one in the middle and it was 2, does that make sense? Yeah, because I'm just lining them up and picking one in the middle, that would make sense. Mode. The one that appears the most is number 1. So the most common one I saw was smooth and yellow. So the median and the mode makes sense, but I can't do math with numbers that are not numbers, that are categories that are qualitative. All right. Last few minutes, I want to introduce you to 4.2. This is where it's going to be not mathy for a minute, but it's going to be okay.
Is this on the test?
Yeah. 4.2, we only have 3 questions from 4.2. And when we get to 4.3, we're going to be doing stat edit, stat calc again. So don't do 4.3 without me because I need to teach you some stuff in your calculator again. But 4.2 we're going to go through pretty fast because there's not that much. 4.2 we're going to talk about, remember the histograms, and if we connect the dots it kind of makes these humps like you're riding a roller coaster. It talks about if you have one hump in your roller coaster, that means you have one mode, because the mode is the one that appears the most. If you have 2 humps, that means you have 2 modes. If you have 3 humps, that means you have 3 modes, etc. This one would be like 5 people like pink, 5 people like green, 5 people like blue, 5 people like red. So there's no modes because everybody answered the same amount. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, if it has no modes, it's called a uniform distribution. And that just means that everybody said the same thing. If it has one mode, it's called unimodal. Unimodal or single peak, it has a single peak like a camel. Unimodal would be like a unicycle. What do you think we would call 2 modes?
Bimodal.
Bimode, bisexual, bicycle, okay?
By what?
That escalated.
I know, you never know. What are we gonna call 3 modes? Not going there. Okay, trimodal. Alright, so that talks about that. Symmetric. When you were in elementary school, you learned about symmetry, the butterfly, the heart, all of that stuff. So if it's symmetric, the left side and the right side look exactly the same. That's symmetry, okay? When we're talking about symmetry, this is what our symmetry looks like. Pretend I can draw. Your left side and your right side look alike. Now, here's the 2 that get people screwed up. Left skewed and right skewed. This is what left skewed looks like. This is what right skewed looks like. It's the opposite of what you think. Left skewed, skewed is like cattywampus. It's kind of like off kilter. Shut up, Jason. Left skewed. Left skewed means that if you have a rope and you do this to the rope. Left skewed means the person is standing on the left, and it does like this. And the hump is on the right, but everybody here, the person is standing on the left. So it's where the person is standing. Right skewed would be the person is standing on the right. Yeah. Now, the reason they say that is because, and let me move this down so I can talk for a minute about it. Y'all all, when y'all talk on the streets, if I had somebody that, not to mention any names or subjects, biology, this would be an example of a hard teacher. Everybody makes bad grades, and then there's somebody that makes a good grade. This would be right skewed because the outlier is on the right. It's like the loner. So your skewness is wherever the loner is, the outlier is. Now, tell me about this teacher.
That's the baller teacher.
That's a who?
That's the baller teacher.
This one's going to be an easy teacher. Everybody makes good grades, and then very few people fail. But the outlier is the one that tells you the skewness. So this one is going to be less skewed. This is what we're going to talk about next time. We good? So your skewness is where you are. I can do whatever you want. Your skewness is where the outlier is, where the person is outlined, not where the hump is. All right, I am done for today. If you borrowed a calculator, bring it up here, please, so I can put it away until next time. We are definitely finishing next week. Definitely.
Definitely bringing everything I need.
Whatever. Just saying. Whatever. Thank you, Bree. I didn't mean to snatch that from you. Just like grabbed it and threw it. You're welcome. I knew you were going to answer that, Ashley. You're always my qualitative person.
We all need to hang out with that.
I know. Ashley's like, thank you. Oh, man, I really
Now, let's try to.
No, he said it was just on one end.
Hey, how did you do on your speech?
But not all.
I have a feeling that if she can't, somebody said
It's
it,
like
she can't point out each thumb.
I'm talking about Monday.
Yeah.
We all have a quiz out of one of the four choices. He didn't say-
That's what
Yeah, he said, don't forget.
No, yeah, he's telling you.
Everything that's gonna be on your test.
Yes.
Or not. Or I'll take it again, just for fun.
We don't have to go. Loved it so much the first time.
Yeah.
You loved it so much the first
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Thank you.
I thought you would not ask you. Ask it one of my sons.
I told you I had done.
Did you will? Oh, in my math
And my
lab.
math.
Okay, do I need to
I
open
mean,
it
it's
back up?
only all.
I know I'm pretty, but still, she's kind of the same age as me.
That's fine, I can open it back up.
Okay.
Yeah. Mom was doing
Uh-huh.
her.
Because that would make a difference in my grades, right? Because I think it's like an 86.